Welcome back, everybody, to Pooley Mag TV, the raw, unedited, unscripted NUFC fan channel where everybody's got an opinion and nobody's opinion's wrong. So today I wanted to talk about the build-up for Brentford. You know, Brentford are a dangerous team. This season they've scored over 50 Premier League goals. They beat us at their place earlier on in the season where we capitulated in the second half, you know, and I don't think this is a given. I really don't. We've got to be on song for this match. You know, let's get the parade and the Town Moor event and the cup win out of our system. We need to go at this like it's another cup final. We need to see the rest of the season as 10 cup finals to try and get us into the Champions League. Brentford, like I say, they're a dangerous team. They've got some really good midfielders, got some really, really good attackers. And I just think this is going to be a dangerous game for us if we're not fully focused. Now, I know Eddie Howe does like to get us focused, and he's brought us back on Monday after the Town Moor event, you know, to stop us from getting maybe over complacent, you know, and over excited about what we've achieved. We haven't played a match since then, you know, which is coming up to 3 weeks, you know, 3 and a bit weeks, I think, since we played a match. We need to be on all firing on all cylinders here. We need Isaac. We need Barnes to put in another good shift. You know, Barnes has come out and said that he wants to fight for his place, so that's really good. Because I think there's a really good player in there. I really do. I think Barnes could be really good for us. Given a run of games, obviously it's going to be hard with Anthony Gordon hot on his heels, but you know, that's what a squad's there for. That's what competition's there for. That's why we buy these players. If he can't handle competition, then he's not good enough for us. But at the minute, the last 2 games, he's played well, especially in the final. So we need Barnes to turn up. We need the full team to turn up. Because Brentford are no pushovers. This isn't Ipswich. This isn't Southampton. This isn't Leicester City. This is Brentford. And they are now a well-established Premier League team. You know, you look at Brian and Mbeumo. You know, I think he'd be great in a Newcastle shirt. I really do. You know, you've got Wisser, another quality player. You've got the midfielders. They haven't got the best defence, Brentford, so we can get in at them. You know, they haven't got a great defence, but they do score goals. 50 Premier League goals they've got this season, which is more than us. We're on 47. You know, so they're very dangerous in attack. Dan Burns going to have to be colossal at the back again. Fabian Schär's going to have to roll back the years and play like he did in the cup final and not how he's played for most of this season. Because if he plays like he did for most of this season, then this is going to be harder than what we think. You know, we've got to come back down to earth now. We've got 10 games left. The parade, everything was fantastic. The Town Moor event, winning the cup was great. But this is another cup final now for Newcastle. This is another cup final. I predict we play the same 11 that we did in the cup final. I don't see why we would change that. I don't see why we would change the system. You know, I don't see why we would change anything about that performance. Can we get ourselves up for Brentford like we did for Liverpool at Wembley? Well, then that's the question to be asked, isn't it? If we can, then we're going to be a hard team to beat this season. For the rest of this season, we've got to treat the rest of this season like 10 cup finals. If we do that, I think we'll get Champions League football. If we think it's already done, then we won't. You know, so I want to see everybody's thoughts on this, what the score prediction will be. I think it'll be 3-1 to Newcastle. I can't see Brentford not scoring. They've scored in just about every Premier League game they've played in this season. So I think they will score. I think our defence will be tired. Sade is a real menace on the wing, so I can see him causing us some problems. But I do think we'll just have enough to get past Brentford, you know, and move on to the next one. That'll be 9 games to go. But we can't overlook Brentford because they're a really, really good Premier League team and they're an established Premier League team now. I think this is their 4th season in the Premier League. You know, everybody expected them to go straight back down when they come up. And they haven't. They've excelled. Thomas Frank's a quality manager. You know, he is a really quality manager, and he's a manager that I would have had for Newcastle at one point. You know, obviously we don't need him now because we've got Eddie Howe and we're flying, but, you know, Thomas Frank's a done a great job at Brentford, and they're never ever out of a game. They're never to be underestimated. You know, this is going to be a tough game. You know, make no mistake about that. This will be a tough game. But I think if we can pull off the same performance or a similar performance as what we did in the cup final, I think we'll just be a bit too strong for Brentford. I think we've just got too much quality up front, and I think our defence is better than theirs. And obviously, I think we've got the best midfield three in the league. You know, I really do believe we've got the best midfield three in the league. When they're firing on all cylinders, I don't think there's anybody better than them. I think they'd get into any Premier League team, if I'm honest. I know Liverpool fans and Arsenal fans and all that and say, oh, no, they wouldn't. But I believe they would, and I believe we've got the best midfield three. So if we turn like we did, I believe we'll beat Brentford. I think we'll beat them 3-1. What does everybody else think? You know, hit like, hit subscribe, share, and comment down below. Keep it black and white and keep it Pooley Mag TV. Over and out.